When a so-called doctor whose job is to heal and help uses metal forceps to break apart a baby's body, this is not healthcare. This is not a doctor. It's just a killer. And we should call it for what it is.
Well, hello and welcome. What you just saw there was Dr. Joanna Howe, an Adelaide-based law professor and mother of five. She's been on this show before and is arguably one of the most articulate advocates for human rights for unborn babies and their mothers. Australia's abortion-to-birth laws, which now exist in all states, are the biggest political issue of our time that no one wants to talk about. That's why Dr. Howe's voice is so important. She tells it like it is. We need to tell a better story of life and hope for all humans, no matter how small or vulnerable they are. That's one of the reasons I do this show and fight the culture wars. While ever there is freedom to speak, there is hope. That's why I'm so disappointed with the Queensland Liberal National Party, which has gagged its candidates and MPs from talking about issues like the killing of unborn babies to birth. Leader David Crucifilli has unilaterally declared there will be no changes to Queensland's abortion-to-birth laws if he is elected Premier at this October's election. He's even ruled out an inquiry into the sort of brutality Dr. Howe just described. The Australian newspaper reported last year that Crucifilli said, and I quote, a review of the reformed abortion law promised by Ms Frecklington, that's his predecessor Deb Frecklington, ahead of the last election would not proceed if the LNP won this time, end quote. Now, that means whoever wins October's Queensland election, Labor or the LNP, there will be no change to the abortion to birth and to sex selection abortion, which allows baby girls to be killed in the womb simply because they are girls. All of this is perfectly legal in Queensland and other Australian states. In Dr. Howe's home state of South Australia, abortion to birth was legalised in 2022 under the Liberals. In the first 6 months of the law championed by Liberal Attorney General Vicki Chapman, 8 fully formed, late-term, healthy babies were killed. Here's Dr. Howe speaking at the recent Adelaide Walk for Life event.
Chapman's from the Liberal Party, and we traditionally think of the Liberal Party as being on our side when it comes to life issues, but Vicki Chapman and her lust for abortion, she might as well have been a Greens, right? And, you know, there she was. And David Spears, a good Liberal guy, I like David, he gets up and he asks Vicki a question. He says, Vicki, I don't think he calls her Vicki, I think he calls her Attorney General. He says, Attorney General, isn't it true that under your new law, if a mother with a 35-week-old baby who is completely healthy walks into hospital and asks for an abortion, she will be able to get it? Vicki Chapman stands up and says, on the health advice I have received, the answer is no. And I'm watching from the parliamentary gallery and I just wanted to jump up and down and say, that's not true, that's not true. Under Vicki's new law, it totally can happen. The first 6 months of data is in for Vicki Chapman's new laws. In just 6 months, 8 healthy babies older than 23 weeks up until birth have been killed in a non-emergency situation. These 8 healthy babies did not need to die.
8 healthy babies, post 23 weeks, fully formed, killed in the first 6 months of the South Australian abortion to birth laws. Who knows what the figures are in the other states around Australia. We can and we must tell a better story than the culture of brutal death that is offered to mothers and forced upon so many babies. It's why Family First is working, it's why we're in the fight, it's why we are raising candidates and supporters in Queensland and right around the nation who will put the values that matter, values of life and hope, on the ballot paper so that you can cast a vote for a better story for babies and mothers.